Hey, what's up? My name is Dave, and as you know, I interpret everything, but today I'm going to be interpreting Woman of the Hour, a Netflix film and true story that was released a couple of weeks ago, and it is a directorial debut of Anna Kendrick, who also stars as Sheryl, a woman who somehow gets roped into the taping of the dating show game in the late 1970s, where one of the contestants is none other than serial killer Rodney Alcala. First of all, I had heard about a serial killer not only being a contestant on the dating game reality show, but also winning a few times throughout my life as one of those things that is just so wild to think about that it's hard to believe the more you think about it. When he was on the show, he had already murdered before, but the one thing that you can take away from something like that is that a common denominator with actual serial killers is charisma. Whether you're taking a look at Ted Bundy, who was often seen as an attractive man, to Charles Manson, a lot of modern looks at that guy make him look truly insane, which obviously he was, but a lot earlier in his life, he fit right in with the height of the hippie boom. The list goes on. They are as crazy as they are, though, because in a way, they're also funny, relatable, and smooth. It's only after you get closer to them, spend some time with them, that you start to peel their layers away and see that something is off about them, which is something no amount of charismatic exterior shell can cover up. So to see a killer on reality TV like this is crazy. It just is. And I'm so glad that they finally turned it into a movie to take that sort of snippet of information that everybody has already heard about and expand it so people understand it a little bit more. Anna Kendrick directed this film, which, by the way, was incredibly impressive for a directorial debut. Usually you can't always feel the effort that's put into shots behind the scenes, but I see you, Anna. You got a little bit of an artistic eye, don't ya? This movie looks freaking great. It just does. The set designs take you back to the 70s. The look of the show from the audience's perspective looks severely aged, as it should, and as it did back then. That's fantastic. The cinematographer here did a remarkable job, quite literally painting the picture as scene after scene. There's a very direct line of thinking into how everything looks and how it all feels, and it's always in harmony. It is very much worth the watch for the stuff going on behind the scenes on its own, as well as just kind of an overall narrative that breaks down such an odd event in history. The performances were pretty good as well, overall making this a solid film. Now, I do have a few minor gripes with the film. That kind of comes down to the editing structure, ultimately the purpose or the message of the film. Editing-wise, the movie is sort of haphazardly thrown together, showcasing this story with the dating game killer, as well as 2 or 3 other flashback moments featuring the same killer in different moments in his life that I suppose were probably pretty important in terms of possibly explaining his motivations or what makes him tick and why, but they come off slightly differently. I would say that these moments come off more matter of fact and random than anything too important, which brings up to the purpose or the message of the film as a whole. Anna Kendrick does a pretty good job in her role, but let's be honest, her character isn't really doing anything in these films. She serves virtually no real function narratively. She's simply there because this idea that a serial killer went on a game show on national television is just too wild. And I think that generally people want to know what was going on through this woman's head when she came into contact with him. So even though she's not really one of his victims, she's kind of the most famous person who he's come across for one main reason, the dating game. But she doesn't actually add to the story anything more than that. The flashbacks that you see technically do. They move his story forward or even explain specific moments that make it so compelling on why he stayed under the radar for so long. But the one that you want to see from the most? This Guri, who picked him as her eligible bachelor on a nationally revered television series. It's the reason why we watched the movie in the first place. It is why he's kind of known overall. It's the talking point. But narratively, there's nothing there. It's really just a gimmick. So there's nothing really to that story. They try to throw things here and there out there as to where it's like, yeah, he's Creepzilla, but it doesn't even remotely further the story, like I said. So I'm definitely split on that. It's all over the place editing-wise, and a lot of it seems kind of aimless and random. It's interesting at points, yes, absolutely, 110%. And the performances are great, with fantastic cinematography, but I started to lose my engagement a little bit with the film the further that it went, and I realized nothing was really happening at all. So here's the deal. I'll be giving this a rating of B-. There are a lot of great things going on in this film that I really do think is worth the watch, even just for Kendrick's directorial debut, which was a shocking hit for me. But if you're a fan of stories that actually go places and have more of a message, then hey, people need to take other people more seriously sometimes, then you might not care about the film. That being said, let's hear your thoughts about the film in the comment section down below. Have you seen a movie? Have you not? Were you a fan of the story of the dating game killer? Let me know, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, and bell. Be notified when I come out with my next review, whenever and whatever that may be. And until then, peace out.